Hi, in this video, I'd like to explain a bit about the euro-dollar fundamentals, and the conclusion is quite simple. What we have here is going to be a weak euro, and what I'm going to do is that I'm going to explain the contributing factors that's leading to a weak euro-dollar. Okay, first of all is that the US data remains very strong until today, and that gives a lot of pressure to the euro-dollar. This is followed by the policies, the trade policies, where currently the US administration is protecting a lot of trades, with the US, and this is very bad for the euro. Therefore, then on top of that, we have the German political risk, and finally the Italian risk. So what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to go into detail explaining these four risk factors that's contributing to the weak euro. The very first one here is that US data remains very strong. So what is happening is that, since Trump was elected as the president, he already said that he wants the US jobs to be strong, and that's what's happening right now. The employment has been increasing on a very steady basis. On top of that, the Federal Reserve is looking into increasing the interest rates, and when you do that, that actually increases the value of the US dollars. That, on the other hand, you will see the euro dollar actually coming down. The euro versus the US dollars coming down. Okay, so next is the trade protection, which is very bad for the euro. What we have here is that the eurozone is a zone which is highly dependent on exports, and when you have Trump threatening to introduce 20% tariffs on steel imports, 10% on aluminium, and God knows further what other trade protections is going to do, this is really going to put a lot of pressure to the euro. Okay, so next is the German political risk. And why that's a risk? Because you see, the Merkel's coalition is under increasing strain over the migrant issues, and this issue has been ongoing. So Merkel insists that Germany has to abide by the pan-European migrant solution, whereas her partners is pressing for German only. And when you have this, right, two parties having a loggerhead, this is actually a genuine concern for her government, that if her government do falls, that will affect Germany. And as you know, Germany is the de facto anchor for the euro dollar. So when you have this, investors are really concerned about this. And finally, the Italian risk. Okay, now Italy is really giving a lot of headache to the European region. Why? Because they have a new government right now, and this government was actually voted in because they promised the voters that they're going to have, number one, a very big tax cut, and number two, they're going to increase the spendings and that includes welfare. Now there's only one problem here: they cannot afford it. Okay, so look at this. Why they cannot afford this? Italy's debt to GDP is actually 132%, and it is the second highest in the eurozone. So you can't give handouts to your citizens, right, when your debt is so high. What the poor Italians need right now is economic growth to generate jobs. Okay, job opportunities, not public handouts. And when people receive free money, they don't work, and when you discourage work, it's just not sensible. This is not something that is going to be ongoing, right? So how bad is Italy? Only two aspects I'm going to see. It has a very big weak economy. Number two, it's highly in debt. Okay, let's see. A weak economy, what does that mean? Right now, it's going through a recession that I don't see it coming up soon. Number two, the unemployment level is in double digits. Okay, in April it was 11.5%. Now on top of that, what you have is youth unemployment continues to exceed 25%. Now this is a very dangerous number. Now, when you have young people not working, we're not talking, if it's old people, maybe, okay, we can negate that, but we're talking about youth. Youth unemployment at 25%, that is a big no-no for any economy, okay? Now, To top that up, the banking system remains clogged, where non-performing loans amounts to 15% of balance sheet. This is very, very bad, and it's very dangerous. Okay. Now the next part is that we are talking about the Italian debt. Now you see, Italy is the world's third largest government bond maker after Japan and US. Bond here means IOU. Okay, it is debt. Now, when you have what they have here is that a bond, their outstanding owing is up to US dollars 2.5 trillion. And even if its partners want to save, like Germany can't even afford this kind of numbers. So at the end of the day, what Italy is facing is really put a bad position that's putting the European regions and its members also at risk. So next is I'm going to talk how it's going to affect the euro dollar. Okay, so let's see. Some analysts say that Italy is too large. It's an economy that's too large to fail because it's the third largest in the eurozone. And the Italian population and economy both compose what they call major portions of the eurozone. And so if Italy fails, the overall fails, and it leaves the eurozone, Eurozone is going to suffer is they're going to lose the labor from Italy, they're going to lose capital from Italy, and this can actually have far-reaching negative consequences. Now, looking into it, as I can say, Euro is in a very, very tough position. So of course, there are some people who say that, okay, it's just one out, and you still have France left, you still have Germany left, but at the end of the day, it will affect. Period. Okay, so next part is I'm going to look at the charts. Now, what I'm going to do right now, this is the euro dollar, and this is the daily chart. I have marked out 3 levels that we can monitor going on in the future. The very first, currently the price, this is where the price is. The nearest resistance is 1.17653. What I'm looking at is actually these 3 areas to look for weakness in the euro dollar to continue my sell. Because what's happened here is that in April, nearly end of April, we had some weakness in the euro dollar, and it has continued to the end of May. So what we have right now is an overextended selling, and they are taking profits happening here. So the nearest resistance, like I said earlier on, is 1.17653. This is followed by 1.19643, and the final resistance is 1.22545. Now, if you notice that I've marked a blue box here, 1.19643, this is an area which I am seeing it. I have more interest in selling in this area because it gives me more confidence that this is where the sellers might come in. But anyway, wait a bit, we are not very far from 1.17653. Let's see how price react here. With this, I hope this simple video can help you in your analysis and trade. So have fun and good luck. Thank you.